Let's build something fun today. My very first Super Mario set. And I needed a little bit of a push to get me into this line, and Bowser's Muscle Car was exactly what I needed. So let's crack this open and see what it looks like. We have the instruction book that looks pretty spiffy all on its own. It looks like 4 bags. So let's get started with bag number 1. Looks like we've already got a lot of super bright Mario colors here. And it looks like we're going to be working on Bowser first, if you can see the faded print there. I've been eyeing these sets at the store for a long time. Kept trying to convince myself that I needed to get into it, but I was just kind of hesitant. I was trying to keep up with the other ones that I liked, and I did buy some of the boxes of the, it's kind of growing in a little crooked there, of the little figures. They're not really poly bags, they came in these little boxes, and I like those. I have those on display. These little feet here going right in. But I just haven't gone ahead and bought one of the sets, so when I saw this was coming out in January here of 24, I was really excited to kind of check it out. I wanted to try and see if I could get a few of the sets and see if I could actually, using some of the power sources and gears, actually set it up where it could actually run a course on its own. But that feels a little ambitious, and so we're going to have to see. This is a very lemon yellow color. We'll have to see if I can figure that out sometime. So it's nearing the end of my week, and that's gone pretty well. I hope your week's gone well. I got a lot done, which was surprising because it feels like most of the time I'm always fussing because I didn't get enough done. Oh, I think we made his tail. So I was actually pretty pleased with myself. We have the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, and my daughter's actually going to pop home from college and spend the weekend with us. Her team, the Kansas City Chiefs, are in it, so she's pretty excited. I think this is his little belly. I'm a Denver Broncos fan, so I wouldn't mind to see the Chiefs win, but probably would have rather it gone a different way. But my team's got some work to do before it ever gets to a Super Bowl. He's building up very quickly. It's pretty cute. But yeah, I hope your week went really well. You're able to relax some and get some stuff done too. I'd love to say that I could have a relaxing weekend, but I have a feeling I'm going to be pretty busy. had a little mishap with my memory card. It all of a sudden ended up being full, and I had forgotten to check it before I started, so we'll pick back up here. I think I only put in one piece that I missed. Alright, looks like his little body's ready. We'll start working on his little head here. I guess Bowser doesn't have a little head. I suppose he has a rather big head. We have been playing Mario games, Mario Kart specifically. We love, and of course all of the Super Mario games. We've been playing those for a long time. We got a Wii when it first came out and started, oh, this one's got a printed piece on it. Oh, there we go, the inside of his mouth. Back when our kids were little, but we wanted to be able to play it, so we could have used the kids as an excuse, but really it was probably for Matt and I. Of course, our kids took over and they became the experts, but we still love to play Mario games. We got the Wonder, the new one. I think that's what it's called, and that's been a lot of fun. We've been playing that. So we love Super Mario around here. So it's kind of surprising that I haven't gotten into the Lego sets yet, but there's still time. The new movie that came out recently, I just absolutely loved that. They did such a good job on it. If you haven't seen it, that's definitely worth watching. It's a lot of fun. Looks like we have another printed piece. His eyes. I love it when they print versus having to put the sticker on. Now he's looking very menacing. I've always been a little partial to Bowser. Not exactly sure why, but probably because he's a dragon. I think he's a dragon, yeah. At least I've always thought of him as a dragon. Watch me have been wrong all these years. He's just always kind of big and lumbering and clumsy, and I just thought he was perfect. These little eyebrows here, but he did a amazing job in the movie playing his part, and his little scowling eyebrows here. But yeah, lots of good Mario stuff. Wait a minute, don't want to miss this mistake. Make a mistake. Don't want to miss it. That's the way I was with the last one. I didn't miss any of the mistakes I could have made, it seemed like. Let's try not making a mistake. That would be better. I love what they're using for his teeth. These, I'm guessing that they can be used as scales along the back of things, and they're really great at decorating even houses and stuff. They're pretty cool. So I like the way they're using them here. I like to pick up those kind of pieces whenever I can. I always seem to be able to find a use for them. Little nose going in. I'm just loving him already. He's pretty awesome. So other than the Super Bowl, does anybody have any big plans this weekend? I guess there's a lot of people that probably don't watch the Super Bowl. This one's also a printed piece, and it's got his little nostrils on it. I think it goes right there in the middle. His face alone is worth this whole set. Okay, now we're going to hook it onto his body. I'm trying to figure out exactly how that's done. Oh, I think it just goes right here to here. I thought it was going to go up behind it, but then I was like, that doesn't make sense now, does it? He's making my whole day. He's not a dragon. He's a turtle. Wow. Well, there you go. Bowser has always been my dragon turtle. Look at this piece for his shell. Oh my goodness, how in the world did I think that he was a dragon? I guess maybe he acts like a dragon. Oh, that's funny. You guys can laugh at me. Now I'm going to have to look it up though and find out exactly what he is, because obviously for years and years I've been confused how much I've paid attention. I just accepted liking him for just who he was, never overthought about it. It's kind of odd for me. These are fun green pieces. I don't normally see this piece in the green. Well, I can't seem to hold it straight for you. That's pretty cool. Okay, if you know exactly what Bowser is, tell me in the comments. It'd be pretty funny to see how wrong I've been. Okay, this is a pretty cool part. We're gonna push these down to make his shell. Which that makes a really, really cool shell, and then we're going to put his little spikes on. Well, he always lived in a castle. And I always, oops, that's a white one. Not a sand colored one here. So, you know, dragons, castles. He had horns. Oh. Okay, so here's this little piece. Now, this is where I really am ignorant, because I don't know. I know that these are important to the Mario sets, but I don't know exactly what they do, because I know they interact in some way. So this is a whole new experience for me. Oops, we gotta turn this over. It's like, oh, how is that gonna connect? And we're gonna put these on the back of him to hook him onto his little shell. Obviously, there's a whole lot about Mario that I need to learn, other than how to race the little carts. Okay, now he has his shell on. My children ever watch this, they're just going to cringe at their mother. And then they'll probably laugh at me. But that's okay. All right, we're going to flip this over. I think we're making his little hands here. Yeah, I think so. I like the way his colors are, the yellow and the red and the green. I think that's a really cool combination. Of course, these color choices with the bricks are really spot on. Oh yeah, look at that, his little hand. Pretty perfect. He's got his little thumb there. His little claws. Okay. Well, he's built it. Oh, I like that. It moves really nicely. All right. No, this piece. Wanted to try to build something different. I realized that I had only been building birds with you, which were a lot of fun, but I was like, well, we're going to have to build something a little different, a little bit more fun. So I'm going to grab Bowser here. Oops, I made a mistake here. This needs to go on first. Otherwise, his thumbs would have looked different. Kind of doing the opposite here. which makes sense. Yeah, I'm pretty glad that this week is kind of drawn to a close. Try to spend a little bit of time getting ready for the next week over the weekend. See what we can cram into next week. Oh, right, now he's got his two arms. So his arms and his tail moves, but his legs are pretty stationary. Okay, we're going to put our turtle dragon back there. And we're going to start on bag number 2. All right, obviously we're going to start making his car here. There is actually a rather humorous, kind of sad in a way story that happened with the very first Wii that we bought. We had gone back to Colorado for Christmas to be with my family. We had moved to a different state and we were going back home. And the Wii had just come out, and it was all the rage, and you couldn't find them anywhere. They were selling out, and we ended up having to stay not up in their home in the mountains because I ended up having a pretty bad reaction to the altitude, which is really weird because I lived there for so many years. But I did, and we had to move back down. Or we had to go back down to Denver to stay in a hotel because I couldn't stay. They even put me on oxygen, but it didn't work. So we were down in Denver, and everybody was kind of grumpy because our Christmas was being somewhat altered because now we were all stuck in a hotel to spend Christmas together. And so Matt and I came up with this brilliant idea to, make sure I did that right, yep, to go find a Wii so that we could all play it in the hotel together. We were trying to make up for trying to ruin everybody's Christmas. This is a bright green that's going in. I like that. Well, like I said, you couldn't find them. They were sold out everywhere. And of course, it's Christmas, so everybody was buying them for gifts. And so we hunted and we called everywhere. And we finally found one. And so my parents were busy doing something. They were out, shopping, and we were so excited to surprise them. So we went and we found it. We made it back to the hotel room, and everybody was going to meet up later. And they came in to our hotel room, and we were like, look at what we found for us all to play with. We bought a Wii. And the look on my parents' faces, it was not a good look. And we thought, well, what do we do? How did we mess up? Well, they had spent weeks looking for a Wii to surprise us for Christmas. And they had just that day finally found one and had driven, I think they'd driven, a ways somewhere into Denver to pick it up. And they were so excited to give us this Wii. And we went and just found one ourselves. We felt awful. They were disappointed. I mean, we didn't have a clue. We didn't know. I mean, we all laugh about it now, but I can't remember if we gave them our Wii and they gave us the one they got us, or they kept that one and we kept ours. I don't remember how it worked, but both families got a Wii out of it. But oops, that one went flying. I'll never forget that. Our first Mario gaming station, and that's how it went down. So it's kind of a humorous, sad story in a way, but It's all good in the end. But that's how I really first got into Super Mario, because I hadn't as a child. We didn't have any of the gaming systems that they had. That was really my first one. This blue and this green reminds me of the Scooby-Doo Lego set that was released. I did never buy it. It just came in a whole bunch of bulk bins that I bought. And it seemed like I don't know, I think I have 2 or 3. I don't know if I have the complete of any of them, but I have a whole bunch of the pieces, and there's a whole bunch of that blue and that green. I'm not sure what we're making now. We obviously are building the frame down there. Here's another one of these parts that must do something. Okay, so before I embarrass myself again, we're going to have to do some research on all things Super Mario. Get catch up to speed here on the details of the sets and the characters. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is interesting, and I'm not sure. I think, yeah, okay, I'm supposed to just put it there. I don't know if it's supposed to move, because the instructions tell me to just kind of put it in there. So that's what we'll do. We might have to work it down here a little flatter until that piece gets secure in there. You most definitely cannot believe everything you hear or see online. Now we're secure. Okay. But Matt saw a rumor that the Snow White house may actually be making its debut soon, which I really hope so. But it seems like it's been talked about for so long. I thought maybe it wasn't going to happen. They're saying that it's going to come out with the March release. And I'm talking about the Snow White cottage in a Lego set. But that one would be really exciting to come out. I thought it was going to come out last year with all of the Disney anniversary stuff, so when it didn't, I thought, well, maybe then they were wrong about that. It wasn't going to come out, but we'll see. Maybe it is going to go ahead and make its debut. Ooh, this is probably his... Nope. Goes right there. His back lights. This, of course, reminds me of one of the cars you can pick when you're playing Super Mario. Although my daughter and I were playing last night. The Mario Kart. And I don't know who I picked one of the bigger characters. And then we did this tight little course that kept going around in a circle. And he can't make circles. And my daughter said, no, the bigger characters can't make as tight a circle, so I'm going to stick with the little guys. Okay, bag number 3. Well, I love this. Look, purple and yellow. That's awesome. Okay. I'd never heard of putting purple and yellow together until my best friend's wedding, and she had a purple and yellow wedding, and I just was blown away with what a beautiful color combination it is. Hers was a much paler yellow than this, but I've just fallen in love with it ever since then. So Bowser's car is looking pretty good here, isn't it? Right. Little ones can be tricky to put together, and I become really particular about making sure that they're perfectly on line with each other and not, tweaked a bit off. I get so annoyed because they just never seem to want to just line up perfectly. Just have to give up on that one and just let them be most of the time. Because it's like they go on well, and you would think you could spin them easier, but they get really snug. And then they just don't ever line up quite perfect. But they'll be okay just like that. We're making his, I guess they're his fenders, his bumpers. My youngest daughter really didn't want to learn how to drive. She would be one of the kind of people that would do really well living in a city where there was a lot of public transportation. She just kind of scared of it and in a way, and just totally fine not driving. But we're like, well, here where we live, you kind of have to, it's almost a necessity to get around, so we're like, you kind of have to learn. So we've been teaching her how to drive. Okay, he looks pretty good, doesn't he, so far? She's doing really well. She's very calm when she drives, and going to be a great driver, but she's not enjoying it necessarily, the process. So I'm going to make sure, nope, it's probably the same on both sides, but I did have the car turned the opposite way of the picture, so we're going to flip it just in case. But she had Bowser's muscle car. She might be more excited to drive. Oops. Popped him right out of position. These are great pieces. Huh. Okay. Yep. Nope. Yes. I'm like, it's supposed to slide in here, isn't it? Because there's this hole. Let me see if I can just dart harder with the dark pieces. There's this hole here. And I thought, well, how is it supposed to go in there? But they slide in. But I didn't think they were going to, but they did. Let's see. Get it down in there. Look at that. That's a really cool way of doing that. I never quite knew you could do that. Yeah, it is going to be the same on both sides. I figured it probably would be. I'm guessing they're his doors. All right, let's see. The dark and then the lighter purple are nice. Are a nice combination. Really match up well with his green too. Okay. It's actually it's a good size car. I didn't know how big he would be, so I didn't know exactly how to gauge the size of the car. But it's a really nice sized one. It's going to fit in very nicely. Okay, let's see here. This goes, I think it goes down there. Yeah. One on the other side. All right. Started to make a list of all the yard work I've got to start doing before the spring hits. Can't believe we're that close to spring already. I guess in our neck of the woods at least we are. Part of me's excited to get out in the garden again, and then another part of me's Kind of enjoying the break from all the work. Built up nicely. These are really cool piece. I mean, I've seen them before. I use primarily probably in animals, but this is a pretty spiffy piece to put in here. This car's just gonna zip right away with that. Okay, we're gonna put these into here. I think one of my favorite plants in my garden are the ferns that I'm able to grow here. I don't have a lot of shady spots that I can grow. I have only a couple areas that are really shady that I can grow the ferns, but I've been putting in as many as I can into those areas. I think they're just really pretty. Okay, we're obviously working on the front of his car now. I'm very curious as to what this is going to allow him to do that slips around in there. Oops, that one's not popped down all the way. Okay. Oops. Some of that bright blue again. It's fun to work with bright colors. They just feel cheerful. So if you ever need to be cheered up, grab a Lego set that has bright colors in it. And it's just bound to give you a little bit of a cheerful day. Yeah, thought I put the wrong color on that, but I didn't. Oops. Did try to pop that off though. Okay. Alright, let's see. I was supposed to put that. Okay. Got disoriented there. Alright. He's so much fun. He's going to have to find a really good visible spot to kind of hang out on display. Let's see here. I want to make sure. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that this was supposed to have a gap in it, which would make sense because it's got this rounded part of that. Our little wing looking thing. All right. My goodness, that piece just doesn't want to go on. Sometimes you'd think pieces had a little bit of a personality of their own. They just won't behave, going where they're supposed to go. Just keep flying off. You think, well, goodness, being awfully stubborn. Then you start talking to Lego pieces, and then you start getting worried about yourself. Okay, now this is very... Oh, nope. I missed it on step 6. I'm like, this piece didn't have a spot that it went in. I did. I just missed it. I just missed it. It was on step 63. Okay. So it's looking pretty good. And last bag. Right. These are fun. I've seen them mostly used. See if I can hold it for you properly here. See these used mostly in candles. I put the little flames on them. But here they're going to be part of our engine, I'm guessing. That's a pretty cool way of using them. Years ago, I would build Lego sets. And I would just build them and enjoy them for what they were and not think too much about it. My little boy would be over there trying to find one more. It's hiding from me. Can't seem to see it. He'd be over there and he would be just really analyzing what parts were used and how they were used. And so when we started making, oh, here it is. That was a stubborn little guy hiding. When we started building our own sets, our own mocks, I wouldn't know what piece to use to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. And he'd be like, oh, you need this piece, and he'd hand it to me. Like, how do you know that? He said, well, I pay attention to what they do in the sets, what pieces they use for what. That's smart. I wasn't smart enough to figure that one out. So, but even though he would tell me that, for years, I still wouldn't really pay much attention to it. But now that he's gone and I'm having to do all my building by myself, I'm paying a lot more attention to the parts that they use to create certain things, especially movements. Learning from the masters is the way to go. Look at this little grill plate, see? You know, I saw those as candles, but look at that. They're not candles anymore. So the smartest thing to do is definitely learn from the master designers. Pay very close attention to what they do, how they do things. All right, let me see. I'm trying to figure out exactly where this is. I can't seem to identify where they're putting in a certain piece here. Well, let's start with these. Okay. They've got this piece right here going in somewhere, but I'm missing it. For some reason, this combination of pieces and my eyes are not working together. Oh. Sorry. That was a loud crash for you. Okay, let me see here. Oh, it goes right here. It's completely missing it. About paying attention and okay, I got these little sides going on. Just a second, I have a friend trying to join me. My little boy thought he needed to come up here. My little boy is in Sir Percy, my cat. Thought he needed to kind of come up and visit with you, but he was probably just going to make a big mess. So we sent him on his way for the moment. Right. This side had a purple 1x1, and then this side had this gray with the hole in it 1x1, so that's what was throwing me. I was seeing this side and thought, well, that side should be the same. But it wasn't. Okay. I was getting confused there. It's funny how when we're building something that we know is going to be the same on both sides, we just assume that it's going to naturally be. But it's not always the case. All right, let's see. This part's a little interesting. I had to build these separate. Not sure what these are. This looks like the front lights, but I thought that they would be bigger than that. Such a beautiful... Oh, I'm building off screen. I'm sorry. Right around look like little eyes, little glowing eyes that he's got now. It's such a beautiful day outside that all the pets are kind of being a little active. We put in, rustling around with the plastic here, we put in these little connector parts a while ago. So they're down in there, they're black, you probably can't see them. And we're going to hook these things that have these little hole connector parts right on there, which is just, once again, an incredible move to be remembered. And they go right on top of that. Look at that. And we've got the edges there. He really does look like a face, doesn't he? Now we're never going to be able to unsee that. Okay. No, I put that in wrong. It needs to go into that spot, not that spot. I got kind of rustly in here because Sir Percy knocked some of the plastic bags over. I'm not sure if they meant it to look like a face, but I'm convinced that it's supposed to be at this point. So he knocked some of the bags over trying to get up here to say hi to you, and that woke up the puppy who came over to try to figure out what was going on. That's kind of how it goes around here. Always somebody being busy with somebody. Last year we ended up getting a Cocker Spaniels to go be a friend to our Schnauzers, and he's been a lot of fun. Although he's been a little bit more difficult to train than my Schnauzers were. He's not quite as smart right off the bat. He takes a little longer to get things going in his mind. But that's okay because he makes up for it with just his absolute sweet personality. He's just really loving and kind. Pretty laid back too. Whereas my two Schnauzers are not laid back at all. Alright, let's see. We're going to put... It's like a mini little snout going on here. You know, if I didn't know better, it'd almost be like his car was a mini version of himself here. Kind of looking that way, isn't it? Because that's very much looking like a face. Okay, where's that other piece we were working on? Here we go. So this goes down on there like this. I'm not quite sure what this is, but we're going to figure out soon. Okay. Now this is interesting. Alright, we've got this piece. They want us to put this through a hole, but they're very specifically telling us to put it through the white one in there. Which, oh, I was like, how's it going to go in there? Alright, this needs to come back some. And these two sides go into that little hole. Now it's actually pretty secured. It doesn't move much, so maybe it had to move to be able to fit him in. But look at that, see? See his little face? Although now it looks like we have eyes here and eyes here. We have a double face. Okay, we're going to put this into here. Oh, okay. So it's going to connect into there. but not on the other side, obviously, because we put the solid purple over there. This goes here. Oh. You see what I just did? I'm not sure why it comes up, but that's pretty cool. Look at this pink ball topper. I have not seen a pink one before. Look at that. I guess he can kind of rev his engine up and get going. Just intimidate the other people around him. Alright. I have a feeling this car was just fun for them to make, to design. It's just a lot of fun. It's just making me smile a lot. I might have to put him right above the TV somewhere so I can see him when we're racing Mario Kart. Okay, now it looks like we're going to work in here, and we're going to put the steering wheel in. Does that make sense? Okay. Put him in right in here behind the part we connected that to. And then we've got these connectors in here too, and we're going to put this piece, but first they want us to kind of spiffy this up, because this car, he's pretty. Got a lot of decals and special pizzazz on it. He's a lot of fun. Okay, now we're going to hook it into there. I'm guessing it's his trunk, and it should. There we go. Oh yeah, look. He can put some stuff in there. Oh, you can see that part come in. That's why it had to move. Wait, my thumb was in the way. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, see? Alright, his windshield. Alright, we're going to work with the wheels now. We're going to pop these all in at the same time. Get those all done. Had to pause there for a second and go fix my puppy's issue. His water bowl was empty. And so he takes to scraping it across the floor to let me know that his water bowl was empty. Makes a ruckus. I was hoping he would stop, but he was just determined to move it all around. He's got some spikes on his wheels here. I wouldn't get too close to him if I was racing him. It's just my little zoo around here, that's for sure. All right, he's a nice sized car. Put some wheel coverings on here now. These are really beautiful purple pieces. Cover up those wheels nicely. Well, get it in there, right? There's another piece that doesn't want to go in, right? Let me see here. I think my fingers are just a little off or something. Hoping that's the problem. There we go. I was like, I hope I didn't put the pieces in wrong on the down deep. No, that looks right. Okay. All right, now he's got his wheels on. It's a cute little sloped car. All right, got that done. Now this is a fun part. He's carrying little fire bombs here with him, which is a lot of fun. Okay, this is going to be fun, okay? We're going to put the bombs in the trunk. The trunk doesn't pop up on its own. I guess it doesn't have enough power to do that. So he's got to lift his trunk up, and then when he's driving along, he can kind of pop them out. Kind of have to do a little bit of force to it. I wish it would do it where the trunk would come up, but I guess that would make sense if there isn't quite enough power. So you kind of have to lift it up and then push it down pretty quickly to give it the force that it needs. So that's fun. Okay. All right, we're going to put him in here now. He's a tight little fit, but he goes in. Well, I hope you had as much fun watching Bowser being built as I did, because that just made my day. Lots of ways to smile when you're making him. I'm going to probably have a grin on my face all day thinking about this little guy. So, awfully glad that you stuck with me through that and all my animals' noises and the fun that we had, and excited to build something again with you soon. Hope you have a great week.